very few people were needed in the Senate and the House or in sort of citizen-driven initiatives on things where there weren't massive organized constituents. There's no major K Street lobbying group in favor of genocide, illustratively. So if there is, you know, a fairly significant small vanguard of the population or of Congress that wants to push a particular direction, there isn't a lot of resistance to it. So a small group of people working very assiduously together across the United States, much easier now because of the internet-fueled social means of social organizing, you can help contribute to change very quickly.
Are you ever frustrated that in showing the now you don't show that much context, or you can't kind of project the future?
Well, thanks. I think it's, you know, and every day it's like a laboratory for a person like me who's not well versed in social media tools, but is like obsessed with getting these issues to more and more living rooms. And for example, then, so I fought for a year, CBS, to do this episode of 60 Minutes that's going to come on in November on the Congo, and they finally capitulated more than anything. It's like, oh my God, that guy's got to, you know, and so we went and did this episode, and so it'll be on in November. But okay, 16 million people will see it. Big deal. It's not going to say, hey, go call your member of Congress, because that's not what network television does. But we're connecting, we're creating an educational campaign with a number of different entities that hopefully will convince CBS to be part of. I think we will. It's just a matter of continuing to persist. And then when that episode comes out, we're going to have basically a curriculum developed. There'll be the episode plus a teacher's guide plus a whole lot of multimedia stuff, inevitably begging Ron and Marcus to use their pictures for free. Sadly, once again, their incomes take hits for the cause. But we, you know, and putting this package together, so 16 million people will see it Sunday night after hopefully another Vikings victory. But
you're really pushing it now.
No, I know, I'm going way off the reservation. But then millions more people will get a call to action in some form, but mostly young people, because of course CBS, the real seduction for them is their demographic just keeps, their age keeps accelerating, you know, and they're like, oh my God, we got to get young people, this show's going to die. And so here's the package. You want to, you know, let's do it. Let's show that it can be done. We'll show you the ratings will come. We'll show you that schools will show this thing, but you got to do a few things more, i.e. give people the context that allows them to become activists around the issue that they've just learned about. The connection directly to us is cell phones, laptops, iPods, digital cameras, video games. All of these things that all of us probably in this room and everyone we know uses every day has minerals that are mined in the Congo, and we are working assiduously to develop this campaign that would have people demand conflict-free, rape-free cell phones and laptops. And basically the idea that we're kind of catalyzing around, and we're going to finalize it and launch it, is, you know, getting people to call Apple and Hewlett-Packard and Nokia and all the rest of them and say we'd like to reserve, you know, a conflict-free cell phone. When you produce it, we'll change carriers and take it. So create the market demand, like the Blood Diamonds thing. Ultimately, you could have sent thousands and thousands of more troops to these places, but until there was a shift on the ground as a result of the Blood Diamonds campaign, which meant that it was no longer profitable to terrorize human beings in order to extract these minerals out of the ground and sell them for a profit, when that no longer was a viable business model because they couldn't sell it anymore internationally because it was blocked, because people said, you know what, let's draw a friggin' line in the sand. Let's not buy diamonds that are leading to amputation of kids' limbs or to child soldiers or to slavery. And same thing here is, let's create the market demand. Let's demonstrate to cell phone companies that there would be a reward, that they could actually make money if they were the first ones out of the box with the conflict-free cell phone. It's the connection, the human connection we all have to these products which matter, these consumer products which matter so much to us and like drive our capacity to communicate and to be entertained. Like, and then, so that was really catalytic for me to say, let's make this whole thing, instead of just saying, oh, isn't rape a terrible thing, and all these people, and look at the numbers of people who are being raped, and blah, blah, blah. That will get a certain group of people revved up. My dear friend Eve Ensler, and V-Day is like a hurricane on this issue, and more people are understanding it from that direct assault. But there's a lot of other people who may be captivated by this issue when they realize that they have a role to play, that they are accidentally, inadvertently fueling what's happening there, and if they take some very simple actions, they can actually be instruments of massive change half a world away, where women can be protected and a war can end, the deadliest war in the world. And if we can then be creative enough as policymakers and advocates to put again, sorry to reiterate it, but put the context around those and help channel that. It doesn't need it all the time. Sometimes the pictures speak for themselves and people just react the way they will and they'll respond in a way. But I love the alliance that art, if that, in that sense, and activism in that sense, and policymaking in its sense, can come together and actually create social change. That's pretty remarkable, frankly.
That sounds good. Let's do that. Let's do that. So I think we should thank these people for their time. Thank you very much.